So a brand that you may have never heard of before called Altor, they create locks for trailers and other applications. Their locks are insane. They are to a degree of engineering and design that I have never seen in the trailer lock industry ever. And I say that understanding that there are a lot of really good lock manufacturers out there that have some pretty dang innovative designs. But the folks over at Altor have definitely stepped it up to a degree that no one else has been able to probably match or come close to yet. And even the videos I've seen that the Lockpicking Lawyer have done on this lock kind of back that up, specifically because he actually had to fabricate his own tool to be able to pick it. Now, the Lockpicking Lawyer can pick anything. I think we all know that. He's brilliant in terms of what his capabilities are when it comes to cracking locks, getting into locks, disassembling them, and showing you how they're made. But this specific lock, at least at the time of filming his video, used a cylinder that he even says is not readily available, and he had to manufacture his own tool. Now, I actually have an idea that might make this even more pick-proof, especially considering the tools that are currently available to pick it, which is a custom manufactured tool that the Lockpicking Lawyer had to make. So let me show you what we're talking about today. All right, so you were looking at the Altor ICON trailer lock. This thing is absolutely insane, and the drop that you saw at the beginning of this video actually was a precursor to this video, so it took place first. And you were looking at this lock, which I dropped several times because I wanted it to stand upright when I was done, and I'll show you little video clips of that as well, some of the takes that I had to do before it actually stood flat on the platform. The first time I dropped it on this piece right here, which absolutely looks incredibly shiny still. It really doesn't even look like it took much of a fall. And I dropped it from 6 feet up directly on it. Now, this lock is insane in every single conceivable way. You see these fins that come off of it. This is to help prevent somebody from getting into it with a grinder, which is really cool. It's also very difficult to get into with a torch because the material is so thick and this is so heavy. And this is a product that my partners over at etrailer carry now. And then they said, you know what, you're gonna wanna see this thing, because if you're gonna wanna talk about the biggest and the baddest product available for trailer security, at least coupler security, this is what you wanna look at. Now, let's talk about this thing. So first of all, like I said, it is insanely heavy. I don't know a heck of a lot about lock types, but as with a lot of you all, Lockpicking Lawyer definitely educates me. This is a disc detainer core, and it uses the profile of an alloy cylinder for the key. And this is a really difficult system to pick. And Lockpicking Lawyer, of course, made pretty quick work of it, considering he had to design a tool to specifically get into it. Now, if you want to actually look at the cylinder, you have to unscrew this solid piece of steel off the top right here. This thing alone could be a weapon. This is absolutely insane how heavy and well built this is. That is crazy. And it uncovers the cylinder right here. So you put your key in the top like this, rotate it, lift it up, and it slides the pin in and out. So on the trailer that we'll be putting this on, it'll actually be sitting like this. We'll slide it onto the coupler, slide this up, lock the pin in place, and this is a security method. So to get to the coupler, you would have to saw through all of this material, which again is not a little bit or not an insignificant amount of material to be able to access the coupler. This thing is ridiculously heavy, by the way. So let's go ahead and check the weight on it. Okay, so we have our scale set up. Let's check this thing out. $24.4 pounds. And that's without me putting this on here. 25 pounds even. This thing weighs a lot. It is absolutely a beast. 25 pounds worth of steel make up this lock system. And I would venture to say that if you were trying to access the coupler of a trailer to steal it with this lock on it, you probably would just move on to the next lock or the next trailer, because this in itself is intimidating to even look at because of its size and its shape. And if you walk up to it and you grab it thinking it's plastic or thinking it's aluminum, You can tell right off the bat that this is not insignificant, and you can tell right off the bat just by feeling it that it is an absolutely insanely heavy locking system. Absolutely crazy. Okay, we have it off the scale now. You can see some of the bruising that was caused by dropping it onto a piece of asphalt that I have. None of it appears to have punctured all the way through. It's definitely kind of discolored because of the color of the asphalt, the material itself. But this powder coat material they put on here is absolutely insanely thick, and it covers everything really, really well. And like I said, this is one heck of a beast to like handle and move around. It's just incredibly robust and thick. Anyways, let's get this put on the trailer so you can see what it looks like on the trailer itself. Now this is a Kurt coupler. It's a spring release style, so basically right now it's in the open position. Whenever you latch it, or you have the 2 5/16 inch ball inside, it locks in place like this. It's kind of an auto coupler in terms of locking. So basically you open it like this, the trailer goes inside or the coupler goes in there, and then it automatically springs back, and that is how it locks the ball into place. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our giant Altor lock, go ahead and get it unlocked. Open up the pin. We're gonna place this over the front, like so. It is locked in place. You have this enormous cap to cover up the core, which threads in underneath. Pardon the mosquitoes, they are out, and I have no idea why. We haven't had any rain in a while. All right, there we go. Okay, it is locked, it is secure, and it's not going anywhere. So I guess I could try to move that around, which that won't move around either. So that is what it looks like. And yeah, if you go at this, you're gonna have a hard time getting it off. On a trailer like this, your weak point would be this area right here, right? If you remove this piece and you happen to have another one with you to replace it with, well, that's one way to get to it. A lot of folks would also say that your chains are another area that you might have some concern. But I feel if you were that concerned about your trailer getting stolen, that you would get a lock like this, you would probably unpin your chains and probably find a way to secure this. And I've shown you all a solution for that as well, which we use on our dump trailer, and it actually secures these bolts so you can't get to those very easily. But from a coupler perspective, this is what this is designed to protect. If your coupler is attached in a way that it can't be removed, it doesn't have this adjustable piece right here, then this is a really, really good securing solution as long as you eliminate, well, you can't really eliminate, but as long as you understand that there could be other ways to steal a trailer. If you have a thief who doesn't care how much noise they make, who doesn't care what's going on, they might just hook chains to it and drag it away. You know, it really just depends on what type of situation the trailer is in, where it's at, and how desperate the thief is to take it. But if they plan on taking it the conventional way by driving up to it, breaking off the lock that's on there, hitching it up to their truck and driving off with it, this is certainly going to be a deterrent, probably the most visible and the strongest and effective deterrent that's available on the market. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are. This is super cool. It sells for around $350, which actually puts it in line with a lot of other locks that are considered to be super, super high security, really heavy duty, really thick steel locks. This one right here definitely has some advantages and some thought behind it that can make it even more difficult for those who may have an angle grinder or a torch or some other tool that they bring with them to try to take it off. But always understand that just like a chain, your weakest link will always be the other way that they could get to your trailer. By removing the coupler, by hooking chains to it, by doing other things that are of course more noisy, going to be more conspicuous, things that will likely get them pulled over if a cop sees them doing it. And most people don't carry replacement couplers around with them, so I don't necessarily think that's the route people would go. When I see trailers parked on the side of the road at construction sites, I typically see just a coupler lock on them. I don't see some other extraordinary means of trying to secure it. If they have a piece of construction equipment, like an excavator or a backhoe, sometimes they'll back it right up to the trailer and they'll put like the shovel in the back, or they'll make it more difficult to access. And that's one thing that I see happen a lot in construction sites. But for the most part, whenever you see trailers that are left on certain sites, and they're there specifically because they're continuing with a job on that site, they'll usually just put some type of a trailer lock on it. And if you're looking for the most intimidating trailer lock that's out there that will likely act as the strongest form of deterrent, if this is the type of deterrent you're looking for, you really can't get much better or much stronger or much more sophisticated than the Icon by Altor. But what do you guys think? I'd love to know your opinion. This is absolutely crazy, and if you get one of these, when the box arrives, be prepared to heft it, because it is not lightweight. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll put a link in the description of this video to this lock if this is something you're looking for. We'll talk to you again very soon.